Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Catholic Spotlight. Joining me today is Francesca Ambrosino, who is Sacrament Preparation Coordinator at St. Michael Catholic Community. Thanks for joining us today, Francesca.
Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you just a little bit about what you do. Tell me, what that role entails.
hmm Well, I have a lot of roles at St. Michael's, so my main sort of domain is sacrament preparation. So that means that I am in charge of preparing all of the children for their sacraments throughout the year. I'm also the RCIA coordinator, so I'm also in charge of preparing the adults who are coming into the church. And I'm also the columbarium manager at St. Michael's. We have a little columbarium there, so I get to work with families there as well. So I'm sort of the sort of wear many hats at St. Michael's. These three are my main ones, but I do many other things there as well.
Let's chat a little bit about each one for a second here.
Sure.
Let's talk first about the sacramental part for children. What does that entail in terms of the sacraments that you prepare them for?
hmm So the primary sacraments that we are working with, of course, for the little ones, there's baptism, and so we've got that's sort of um, I'd say the easiest one, if you will, when it comes to preparation, because of course most children who come into the church are infants, so it's just a matter of preparing the parents, and I have a great team who helps me with that. And then we kind of the bulk of my year, it's from September to June, depending. And that's preparing kids for the first reconciliation and first communion, and then for confirmation as well. So we're a pretty big parish, but we don't have too many young families. It's big in comparison to a lot of our smaller parishes. So I mean, we're putting through around between 100 to 120 kids per sacrament every year. That includes, yeah, baptism, first reconciliation, first communion, and then confirmation. So really beautiful ministry that we get to work with these families who are bringing their kids through the faith. And the diocese this year has rolled out a really amazing program. We're still working through sort of um, the little bumps as it's a pilot program, but we are really excited to be engaging families in catechesis this year, and sort of having the dynamic where we get to walk with parents and kids together.
Excellent. And let's chat a little bit about RCIA. I think, well, first of all, non-Catholics wouldn't know really what that's about, and probably a lot of Catholics themselves understand what RCIA is. Can you explain just a little bit about that?
Sure. So RCIA stands for the Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults, and so this is my very favorite ministry of all my hats that I wear. If anyone knows me well knows that my heart really goes into RCIA, and so RCIA is a journey that begins usually in the first weeks of September. Me and my team we have throughout the year but mostly through the summer we interview a lot of candidates who are or inquirers who are interested in becoming Catholic. We get people from all walks of life, which is why this is really the most exciting part of my job because I get to see how God is working out there in the world and bringing these people into the church. And so I have people from every possible background, Christian, not Christian, never heard of God, or very faithful. And we get to have this large group. This year is actually the biggest in St. Michael's history. We've got about 25 catechumens and candidates coming into the church on Easter Vigil. And so we will walk with them. We meet with them every Tuesday night, and I have a fantastic team. I really couldn't do this without my team, who we teach, we journey, and we're able to just encounter these people, and just we really just build beautiful family bonds with them as they come into the church. And so we're sort of very close to Easter now. So they're in their last rites. They're going through what we call scrutinies these last 3 weeks, and then this coming Sunday will be their third scrutiny. And so we're getting them ready for their initiation into the church. And then Easter vigils are a very big celebration.
Like for yourself and maybe some of the sponsors that are in part of the RCIA, do you find a lot of these candidates uh, kind of open your mind to questions. When they start asking questions, it's probably stuff that, as Catholics, you just don't think about, right? And because you've just been a Catholic all your life, and then because I used to help out at RCIA, different churches as well, and I always found that really intriguing part, right? Because they come up with questions that you just don't you wouldn't even think of, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, the sponsors every single year that I've been at St. Mike's, every year I have sponsors who are so, so just built up in their faith. And they're like, I've been a Catholic my whole life. I had no idea that I didn't know this stuff. And the sponsors are asking more questions than the catechumens sometimes. And it's just this beautiful journey. I always say everyone should go through RCIA. Really, all Catholics need to go through RCIA.
Yeah.
And through the years, I mean, as I said, I have such a great team. So we've built on the feedback of our catechumens and candidates, built up a really fantastic program over the years to fit the needs of the people who are coming in. Because obviously, as you said, I was born and raised a Catholic, so I don't necessarily know what the questions of the people are until I hear them. And then I'm able to sort of tailor my teaching and our program and the way we approach things to just to the changing world and where people are coming in from.
Hmm. And talk a little bit about the columbarium.
Okay, our columbarium. So it's a lot of people don't know what it is because it's sort of a newer concept and it's kind of become more popular now. So a columbarium is a burial place for urns, and our columbarium is indoors. It's on the west end of the building, and oh, excuse me, the south end of the building. When you come in through the south doors, it's uh, beautiful, attached to our day chapel, and it's quite small. And if anyone's familiar with Sacred Heart's kind of got the most famous and the biggest one. Theirs is huge, but ours is small, but very, very beautiful. Lots of light. People really like it. And it's just, yeah, a place for, Catholics and sometimes even non-Catholics, but mostly Catholics and parishioners who want to have loved ones that they can go and visit, throughout the week, or especially on Sundays. It's like very special for them to go to mass and then be able to go visit their loved ones who have passed away. So
Exactly. So how long have you been at St. Mike's?
4 years now, a little over 4 years.
And what were
Yeah.
you doing before that?
So I got my undergraduate degree before that at the University of Calgary. I have my undergrad in social and cultural anthropology. And then I went off to St. Therese Institute of Faith and Mission after that. It's in Bruno, Saskatchewan, so it's a formation house. And so I got my diploma in Catholic Studies for the lay apostolate there. And then I came on at St. Mike's, and at the time I was actually working between St. Peter's and St. Michael's as the sacrament coordinator. And that was sort of post-COVID, so it was quite small at the time. And then it sort of exploded, so both positions became full-time. I took on a full-time position at St. Michael's, and then I'm currently getting my master's degree in theology right now. So I keep myself very busy.
No kidding. And why, what got you into ministry?
I've always had sort of a very deep interest in the faith. I went through my period of time, growing up where we weren't really practicing the faith. And then in high school, I started to kind of get more interested in it again. And then in my first year of university, I encountered a ministry called Catholic Christian Outreach, CCO, very famous sort of Canada-wide organization that is a university outreach program. And so encountered a missionary there who journeyed with me in my faith, and her and I are still great friends to this day. And she and her team and the sort of friends that we made there, they got me more interested in my faith. And after that, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. It was like a light switch where I knew that this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Like I had never felt so passionate about something before, and I came alive in this, and I knew that I wanted to serve the church. I knew that this was what I was going to do, and I knew then that I also wanted to go into graduate school for this, to eventually my far in the future, hope to get my PhD in theology as well, so that I can teach in a university. But I'm still at St. Mike's for a long time while I get my master's. So happy to be here. But yeah, it's just what I love to do. I love Jesus. I love to walk in faith with people and to just to yeah just to have this beautiful community. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Francesca, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Mario.
All right, that was
Okay.
Francesca Ambrosino, who is Sacrament Preparation Coordinator for St. Michael Catholic Community in Calgary. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Catholic Spotlight. Thanks for joining us today.